Well, the Astros won in Mexico. Both games, they swept the Rockies, and we just found out right before we went on air that Joey Loperfido has been called up to the major leagues, according to sources through Ari Alexander and KPRC Channel 2. Let's talk about all this exciting stuff on this Sunday night edition or Monday edition of Locked On Astros.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On the Houston Astros. We hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talkstros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Thank you for making Locked On Astros every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out and go and subscribe to us and make us part of your daily routine. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150, win or lose. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started today. So, Joey Loperfido, he sounds like he's getting a call. He just hit his 13th home run today. I'm excited about this. Brett, where can I find you at when you're celebrating this?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Back to the Bullpen on X and on Instagram. They can find me at Stros411 on X and on Facebook. Always positive, always Stros, Eric. This is kind of cool news. This kind of adds something to the conversation. I mean, it's not like we already had enough to talk about. Two wins, Eric. I mean, look, we won yesterday. We won today. If we win Tuesday, that's a win streak. And you know what? It's been done before, to quote the Major League movie. I mean, what a fun series. I know it was the Rockies. Don't tell me they were the last place Rockies. I don't care. This team has been swept 4 times this year. It's about time we do some sweeping of our own. And these are games last year at the end of the year, y'all, that we were losing. We were getting beat by the beleaguered Royals. We were getting beat by the scrubs of Major League Baseball at the end of the season, right? So, hey, let's turn this thing around Mexico City style.
And guys, I told you that once May comes around, the Astros will be playing a lot better baseball. But also, once the rotation gets healthy, they're going to be playing a lot better baseball. Framber Valdez came back. He pitched 5 innings, allowed 2 runs, no walks, no home runs, 6 strikeouts. At that ballpark, to not allow any home runs, none of the Astros pitchers in today's game allowed any home runs. And so that's impressive, while the Rockies allowed 3 home runs themselves. We'll talk about all the offense in this game, but I think that Kyle Tucker wants to go ahead and make a petition for the Astros to play half their games in Mexico City, because he crushes the ball down there. I know Alvarez was 0 for today, but he had some good. He almost had a home run today, and he drove 2 balls yesterday, 461 feet. So this guy, I think this is exactly what the doctor ordered. They needed. Get out of their comfort zone, get in a different place, and maybe just maybe get a taste of the minor league lifestyle, so to speak, and maybe to kind of wake their bats up.
Yeah, and that's what needed to happen. Of course, I wanted to do more celebrating of Jose Abreu. We gave him his flowers a game before. He goes 0 for 4 today, hitting I guess 097 or 099 again. He's back under 100, and look, this guy. It does round up, but it goes 099 right now in the stat book. But with this move for Joey Loperfido, this probably means that he's going to be platooning now. A note: the last 2 games, Loperfido's played center field. Okay. Loperfido has not played a lot of first base lately. He did last week. He played a few times, and what was funny was I was sitting there thinking, I really wonder if they're going to start this next week playing him more at first base and then get ready to bring him up. Well, they brought him up. So we don't know what the corresponding move is. That hasn't been reported, but Ari Alexander from KPRC has reported that Joey Loperfido is being called up today to the big club.
Well, I know that one of the moves is that they're definitely going to have to send somebody down anyway because they have a 27-man up. Trey Cabbage is most likely that candidate to get sent down. He played good the first game. He played as in garbage time a little bit later in the second game. He does offer a left-handed bat. He does offer some power. He could play left field, some speed. So I could see the Astros moving on from John Singleton and saying, okay, we'll go ahead and take a risk with Cabbage. We'll go ahead and see what we can do there. But you kind of wonder what's the other deal. So Greg Kessinger, I know Mauricio Dubon can play multiple positions around the infield. So Greg Kessinger is kind of the guy that doesn't really get to play a lot. He gets to play at third base when Alex Bregman is not in the lineup. But I could see the Astros maybe keeping both Cabbage and calling Loperfido up at the expense of Singleton and Greg Kessinger.
Yeah, I think, Eric, that would be, I mean, that's about as accurate as it gets because really nobody else fits the bill in this. And, you know, not to beat a dead horse here, but I'm excited to see what Joe Loperfido does. Now, here's the thing. Joe Loperfido does come in, and the first team that he possibly can face is the Cleveland Indians, who has been very good pitching. They're leading the AL Central. And so this is not like he is a hot hitter, but he's a hot hitter coming up against very good major league pitching. So you would love for Loperfido to catch lightning in a bottle and to do a really good job when he comes up. And who knows, you know, is his first at bat going to be a home run? Is it going to be a hit? Is it going to be a strikeout? But hopefully, being with this club, hopefully with them kind of turning the table a little bit with the offense, that's going to help him. And that's where I'm not surprised after the 2 days in Mexico City, the bat's heating up. I mean, you know, Diaz with his first triple. Diaz nearly hit a home run today, hit a ball dead center field. But these home runs, Eric, I think Tucker was only the fourth player to hit a ball at the launch angle he did and hit it out of a stadium. So it's pretty mesmerizing, this 7,500 plus feet that they are playing at. And it helps, but you know what? We'll take any help at this point.
Yeah, and Joey Loperfido, if he is the guy getting the call up, he's coming up to play. He's not coming up to sit on the bench. The Astros, he's the Astros' top hitting prospect at the moment, so he's coming up to play. So that means you're not going to see a lot of Jake Myers, or I think at the expense of Jake Myers, or you will see him platooning some at first base at this point. So Loperfido is coming up to play at this time. He's not coming up to sit.
Okay. Well, that, you know what, Eric, and also other breaking news. Guess what? This is a night of good news. Major League Baseball plans to modify the uniforms to feature larger lettering, less visible sweat, and fix the see-through pants per ESPN. Changes will come into effect the beginning of 2025 at the latest. So they're improving the uniforms, but they got to wear these crappy uniforms all year long. So thanks, Rob.
Well, they said they might fix it before the end of the season, but at the latest, they'll get it fixed before 2025. So, yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. And the sweat, it's supposed to be all about the sweat, but just ask Aaron Judge and the Yankees how you can see the sweat, and it's not very good. So we'll talk about the jerseys. We'll talk about the Astros rotation as they just announced the rotation for the Guardian series. We'll talk about that in a second. But guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go and subscribe to us. Go make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out. And Brett, let's go ahead and talk about DoorDash.
This episode is brought to you by DoorDash. Go to DoorDash today and use the code LOCKEDONMLB. And let me tell you, you get 50% off your next order up to $15. When you spend $15 or more on your next flour, convenience, grocery, or retail order now on DoorDash. Now, why do I use the word flour in there? Well, because Mother's Day is right around the corner, and moms are a gift. So you should give her, who has been the best mother for you, the gift that is thoughtful by using DoorDash. Select from hundreds of expertly crafted bouquets to the best of tech and self-care essentials and more delivered right to her door. That's right. It's never too late to show mom your love on Mother's Day. Get 50% off your next order, $15 or more on your next flour, convenience, grocery, or retail order. That's right. Use a promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Use DoorDash today, and you will not go wrong. Celebrate your mom today by using DoorDash. Let's go. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel.com/lockedon is what you want to do, the code you want to put in, because it's going to save you money. Look, I'm telling you right now, it's playoff time in the NBA and NHL. Baseball is in full swing. Have the Astros turned it around. The reason why I echo is because they played at 8,000 million feet above sea level, and it was a good thing for them. Well, look, right now, an even better thing for you is to go to FanDuel, because new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. So Rockies fans, had you voted on the Rockies to win, you would have still got the money, even though you lost. Bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks, all in one app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel.com/lockedon, America's #1 sportsbook.
Hey guys, if you can't get enough Astros talk, why don't you check out Michael Connor and the Locked On Astros postcast? I'm sure he's happy. The Astros have 2 wins in a row. When's the last time this season the Astros can actually say that? So guys, let's hope the Astros keep the winning ways against the Guardians, and you can catch all the live action on SiriusXM. Just search Astros on SiriusXM, and you can hear all the play-by-play action. But don't forget, you can also watch Locked On Sports Today. It's all the news you need to know. It's not just about the Dodgers. It's not just Locked On Dodgers, but it's everything that you need to know, from basketball to football. Speaking of which, I'm sure Hank Dell, what happened to Tank Dell, is probably going around news right now. But go and check that out on.
I heard about that today. My son and his friend were sharing with me. He was an innocent bystander. He actually checked out of the hospital today. He's fine. But he suffered a gunshot wound at the hands of a 16-year-old that happened to be in the club. I'm thinking the 16-year-old was probably there illegally. And it sounds like Tank Dell was not involved in the incident, which is great. But in him checking out of the hospital is great, because he was a big loss last year, man. The Texans just had this huge hype around their new uniform. There's a buzz with Stephon Diggs. There's a buzz with all the rookies that they just drafted. And so it's just crazy. And our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone involved, because we definitely don't take lightly that, not just Tank Dell because he's an NFL, Houston Texan, but because, he's a person, he's somebody's son, he's somebody's brother. And, we wish everyone the best that was involved in that incident. But Eric, I think things really changed for this club this weekend because of how they led into the series. I don't think just because it was in Mexico, just because it was the Rockies, but I think the fun that they had before the game started. Jeremy Pena going around on the taco trucks, and the players getting to talk to young Mexican baseball players, young men that are playing in Mexico, hoping to be a major league player one day. The Astros being great ambassadors to all of Latin America. And I really think Mexico, I think we're probably one of the favorite teams, if not the favorite team, with the way they greeted Jose Altuve. But everything just had the good vibes. And what's funny is when I talked about the stadium, can we move it to 7,500 feet? Someone else echoed that. My friend Emily, she goes, can we move Minute Maid to 7,500 feet? Look, anything at this point. But I really
the opposing hitters would hit against us too.
Well, that's true. And one last thing, and we can move on. I love what Jose Altuve said. He said Bregman is going to be fine. Bregman is going to hit. Bregman studies the pitches. He knows what he's doing, and we know he's going to get going because he's very good at what he does. And so, look, if Jose Altuve has confidence in Alex Bregman, I have confidence in Alex Bregman. And this team, I think, is going to continue to do better. Baby steps, one series at a time, one game at a time, but I think they can get it done.
All right. So somebody mentioned that maybe it's time to stop buying the jerseys right now if they're going to go back to the old type jerseys next year. Well, actually, aren't baseball cards that have misprints aren't they more valuable? So maybe these are the misprints, and so they're going to be more
No,
valuable in the future.
not
So
the same
I
thing.
was just trying to
No,
throw it out there.
I know. Well, I've seen them, and the lettering is bad.
Yeah.
The material feels cheap. They're not good. They're not good. They're not.
Right.
They're terrible. I love the old. It makes me want the Rydell Diamond Collection, the wool, the thick jersey. I don't care if I'm sweating my tail off in the summer. That's the kind of jersey I want.
All right. So we don't know who's going to get optioned in for Joey Loperfido, but we do know he's going to be called up and likely make his major league debut on Wednesday versus Guardians. So far this year in 101 at bats, he is batting .287 with a 1106 OPS with 13 home runs, 27 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. So yes, he does have some strikeouts. He has 37 strikeouts and 101 at bats. So I think he's kind of cut down a little bit, but that's still about a 33% strikeout rate. So he's going to have to cut back on that a little bit at the big league level. But I think that the Astros have seen enough. He's leading minor league baseball in home runs right now. And with everything that the Orioles prospects are doing, I mean, that says something about you. So I think that the Astros felt the taste of having a good offense, and they want to keep this going. They're already leading the American League in hits, and now they want to get going with the runners in scoring position, getting more power, getting everything going. And if now is the time to bring up Joey Loperfido and get to make your miracle run, then go for it. And I think that's what Astros are doing.
I love Eric's like the miracle run of the Houston Astros. Look, I know a lot of people were watching the games, but I got to shout out my friend. I promise her I do it. Carla D. Thanks for checking out Locked On Astros. We appreciate you. She was watching the game there from Edo, and I know a lot of y'all people were at different establishments around the city watching it. And Eric, you're right in highlighting the Astros hitting with runners in scoring position. I think they were 6 for 10 in the first game with runners scoring position. Today they were 2 for 5. You know, Kyle Tucker hit as many home runs as he did play games here. At least Pena looks really good. And ESPN actually highlighted Jeremy Pena's swing and how he's quieted his swing. And we've talked about that. We've chronicled that. And what's funny is one of the announcers in the booth is one that's notorious for making memes of Jose Altuve with trash cans and stuff like that. But yet she had all kinds of compliments for this guy. You know, today the Astros did get 8 hits. Altuve and Bregman both went 2 for 4. So they were 4 for 8. You know, yesterday we talked about them going 0 for, but the team went off. And the team, everyone's like, oh no, the 10-run curse. I'm telling y'all, that curse died last year. So they scored 8 runs on 8 hits. Look, like my dad used to always say, if you have 8 hits, you should have 8 runs. And so they did that. They followed that philosophy, and I like what I'm seeing. I like not only what I saw out of Valdez, he looked great. I mean, Eric, he was inducing that ground ball. He was, I forget who the hitter was, but he had 3 balls, 1 strike. It was one of the last batters that he faced, and he got him to ground out because of the sinker. His sinker's working. He looked good. Justin Verlander has looked good. Ronel Blanco has looked good. Your pitching staff is starting to get healthy. Jose Urquidy could have a rehab assignment soon, Eric. I mean,
Christian Javier's ready to come back pretty soon.
Yeah, Christian Javier. And so, and we actually have not heard yet. Randy McIlvoy, I reached out to him. We haven't heard what the corresponding move is. He says they are at the airport in Mexico City right now. Yeah. So the Astros are about to board the plane, but that's literally all we know. And I reached out to Ari, and Ari said, all I know, he goes, all that reported is everything I know at this point. So but they were first.
I can imagine everybody going up to Dana Brown at the airport and saying, hey, who you sending down? Hey, have you heard anything? Hey, I've got to write something. I've got a deadline today, Ari. Come on, tell me something. Or Dana.
So it's funny. Yeah, you know, I had a friend, my friend Kevin Martinez was actually in Chicago for the series, and he sent me a text with a picture, and he says, hey, check this out. And it was a picture with Cabbage's like luggage, right? Mm-hmm. He goes, what's going on? I said, well, they just called him up. He's going to join the team in Mexico City. He's like, oh, that explains that. He didn't know what was going on because he was in Chicago. He hadn't heard. So it's kind of cool if you're able to hear something first, you kind of get the break on it. But where this team is going, where this team is heading, I think the sky's the limit, Eric.
Right.
We were swept by 4 teams. I want to say this before our commercial break. We were swept by 4 teams, but all 4 of those teams were very good teams. They are all playing good baseball. They weren't crappy teams. It wasn't like we got swept by the A's. So there is a silver lining there. And in some of those series, we didn't get the brakes beat off of us. So, guys, there's still hope.
Yes, somebody's asking about the rotation for the Guardian series. It was just announced. We'll talk about that in a second.
All right, game off. We got to pause here because we got to talk about Monopoly Go. I know you're saying flag on the play, H-Town. You already talked about that, but there's so much more to this game. The Monopoly Go, now you can team up with your friends for time tournaments where you work together to build each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock, and there's so much to get. Unique stickers you can fill albums with, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day as it's constantly changing with new challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure, and there's always new timed events to help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover at Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it right now for free at the Google Play or App Store. Game on.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go and check us out. But go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. Go and give us a big fat thumbs up while you're there. And just go ahead and become part of the Locked On Astros community. And we also would like to welcome Michael Connor to the Locked On Astros community as he is doing the Locked On Astros postcast after every game. So go and check them out and check us out. If you can't get enough Astros talk, we're here for you all season long. Win or lose, we'll be here for you. So guys, the rotation has been announced. Hunter Brown will be starting Tuesday. I think that was pretty much written on the wall. Despite if he was used in today's game, then you would have to make a move or something. Justin Verlander is going to be going on Wednesday, and then it's going to be Spencer Arrighetti on Thursday. So in other words, Verlander's got to pitch like he's got to pitch a 9-inning shutout because the other 2 guys, it's basically
we don't know. Well, we don't know what we're getting with Hunter Brown. We're hoping that the day off with the trip, with the relaxed, with the winning, with the way the team is feeling right now, that bleeds over and gives confidence to Hunter Brown. Because I can tell you right now, when Hunter Brown is on, this kid can absolutely deal. He just has got to keep the ball up or down. And that's been his problem, is he's been getting movement, but the movement moves the ball right into that heat zone, right in the middle, hitting a lot of middle stuff. And you can't do that against Cleveland Indians. The Cleveland Guardians, it's whatever, man. They were they were called that for years. So whatever. Ramirez, Naylor. They've got a crew that can hit, and we've got to be able to make sure that we can stop their offense because their pitchers are going to present not necessarily a wall, but it's going to be a challenge. They're not the Rockies. We know that. But look, I think with the way this team's feeling, I still think we can take 2 out of 3 from Cleveland. It would be great for Brown to get off to a good start, Brown and Verlander. I think I wouldn't mind if Arrighetti maybe gave up a few runs, even if the Astros end up losing that game, but it's competitive.
Right.
But Arrighetti, I think, is studying his stuff. He knows what's working. He knows what's not working. And so giving him more time, giving the coaches more time to go over what he needs to fix, I think can do nothing but help him. Good Lord. All the Freudian slips tonight. Brown, Verlander, Arrighetti. That's not exactly who I was expecting, but I know Javier's not back. I know Urquidy's not back. I know where we are in the rotation. But once those guys get back, you're going to start hearing the big time names again.
Javier should be back in the next series, not this series, but the next series will be playing over the weekend. So that's something to keep in mind, that he may make a start at that point. And at that point, you'll have to make a decision on who stays in the rotation. So Spencer Arrighetti, Hunter Brown, this is a tryout basically to see who stays up. I know a lot of people said that JP France shouldn't have been the one that got sent down. But I think that the Astros probably see Hunter Brown as somebody as a bullpen arm, somebody that, as hard as he throws with his stuff, he can probably be a multi-inning reliever, somebody that can adapt to that a little bit better than JP France could. So we'll see. The plus side to this the Guardian series, I almost did it too, is they're not an offensive juggernaut. They are kind of mid. They're kind of mid. Let me just say that offensively. So they are,
but they have good hitters though. I mean,
yeah,
they've got guys that can hit the ball. I mean,
they're kind of mid. They're like 10 in terms of batting average. They're what are they? OPS. They've got 713 OPS, okay, which is about 14th. So in terms of hits, they are. I mean, the Astros have the most hits in the American League, right, of course, but they are about 13th. So if you're looking at the Guardians, they are about the middle of the pack in terms of offense. But if you look at their pitching is the second best ERA. Sorry, not second best. They're actually the sixth best ERA in baseball. But if you look at their bullpen is equal success for them. They've got the best, second best ERA out of the bullpen. And so I think the bullpen is their strength and the reason why they've won 19 games so far.
Yeah, exactly. And, to go back to JP France, the Astros actually have said that they wanted him to go back and work on some things, that they just saw some things that they felt like they were not pleased with, that he was not pleased with. And so this is just to get him back in line, back in focus, because last year he was their most consistent contributor. Because when you had all the ups and downs of the rotation, various injuries here or there, we still have Taylor doing great, Montero doing great. Belak is Belak. Martinez did great. The back end of the bullpen, Eric, did what they were supposed to do.
Because they had a lead, Brett. That's like this team, these guys, it's a mental thing.
Didn't give
up. It's a mental thing.
Right. But this year they haven't gone out and done what they did. And yes, they had a lead, but that's a good thing. You need that. The velocity on Abreu's pitches has been up. It's good. These guys need to accept their role. Okay. Presley has probably gone through it mentally, where I'm one of the best closers in the game. So I'm basically the setup guy for the best guy. And I'm hoping he's turned a corner there, and Abreu needs to find that confidence again. Because last year it was like, oh crap, Abreu's coming in whenever opposing hitters would get in the box with him. And so they all played great defensive ball. Hader was playing a Gold Glove closer role today, snagged a line drive that, would have hit most pitchers. He grabbed it. Got the final out, not a line drive, and bounced a little bit because he had to toss it to first for the out. But Jay Roberts said Hader performed in a non-safe situation. Rare.
That's the first time he's got some work in almost 10 days, just because the Astros have been getting a lot of losses, and he was also used back-to-back days. And Spada said that he was going to use him in Saturday's game, but that game got a little bit out of control. So he was like, there's no sense using him. So what he did in this game, even though it was pretty much out of control, you don't know what's going to happen in that thin air. So you're going to bring in your best guys, even if you have a 6-run lead. Just go out there and bring your best guys in.
Exactly. So, look, man, I'm excited. The Astros get a day off, but you know what? We don't take a day off. We will be here, Eric. We'll be here Monday to break down just looking at the series ahead and what we think the Astros can do against this Cleveland Guardians team, which has come out of the box. They are top of the AL Central, and I think it's for a formidable opponent, but I think they're beatable. And I think the Astros have 3 winnable games coming back to Minute Maid Park to start a 6-game homestand before they go back out on the road. And Eric, on April 27th, which is actually today. No, I'm sorry. Start on May 7th. The Astros will play 35 games in 37 days. So they get a day off, and then shortly after that, it's going to be a lot of baseball. So we definitely need these healthy pitchers coming back. I'm looking forward to what we have ahead. And come in May, we'll see some good stuff.
No, guys, this is actually live right now. So thank you for all y'all participating in chat. We do appreciate that. Thank you for making us your daily listen. And guys, I've been telling y'all, once this team gets back to playing Astros baseball, pitching good, getting enough offense, the bullpen shutting things down, this team is going to win a lot of games. Are they going to do enough to make that miracle run? I don't know. But what we've seen the past 2 days is a more likely of what this team is capable of. They've been underperforming. They haven't been doing what they're supposed to be doing. Now we'll see what happens from here. And Joey Loperfido, he gets his chance. They're going to have him play. So we'll see what happens. And we'll talk about that more and what to expect on tomorrow's podcast and look ahead to the Guardian series. So my name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. We are the Locked On Astros podcast, and we are your only daily Astros podcast out there. And go Stros, and we will see you tomorrow. And the Astros are on a winning streak. How you like them apples?
I like them apples, baby. Haters gonna hate.